kid and Mr. Hitler.
In the 70s, many master tapes of hit shows, including Dad's Army, were wiped and reused for other, some say lesser, programmes. Bit by bit, though, copies of many of these shows were scrounged or otherwise recovered from various parts of the globe. But a tantalising part of this much-loved archive remains elusive. Some colour episodes were lost for good, or so it seemed.
So I was watching an old episode of Doctor Who, a John Pertwee episode, which I knew had been made in colour originally, but we only had black and white film to view, so I was watching this at home and saw these red patches of colour breaking through. And I thought, well, if I'm watching a black and white film print, where on earth is this colour coming from?
The reason James was seeing those flashes was because he was watching a black and white print of a colour programme. The BBC hadn't bothered to keep the colour version because it took up expensive tape stock.
The master tape would have been, after it had been shown twice, and after BBC Enterprises, as it was known then, had taken a copy for their own sales purposes, the master tape would be used for something else. And that was a very common practice.
I was extremely angry, and I kept saying to David, I want names, because I'm a cocky sod. Who has given orders to wipe our stuff? Because it was very precious. It was my first big success as a writer, as opposed to other things I used to do, like acting and stuff. And I was furious.
Hey, I've got an idea.
James Insel had the solution to the missing colour episode, at least. He could restore it using tiny screen data called chroma dots in the surviving black and white version.
Well, this dot pattern is very fine on the film, so we need to scan the film in high definition to start with, and then create a file which the computer can then use to analyse the dot pattern and decode all the colours into their right places. Some manual intervention is required, so it can be a fairly long and laborious process, but eventually we get out a copy of the raw output of this software, which can then be taken on to a later stage of restoration.
Here's what James and his colleagues have achieved. The Beeb liked it so much, they've funded complete restoration, like so.
Permission to speak, sir.
Yes, Corporal.
Why are you wearing that shoulder protector, sir? Is that standard dress from now on?
No,
What do I make of it being colorised? I think it's marvellous. What I would hate to see is great sort of classic films like Casablanca and The Maltese Falcon, because I'm a great cinema buff. Colorised, I would be like painting a moustache on the Mona Lisa.
There's hope that other favourites could be restored to their full glory, now that the evergreen comedy of Dad's Army once again has the colours to go with it.